Give a gift that's all about her this Valentine's Day. A Dermaspa gift card. For all you men who don't know what to get that special someone, a Dermaspa gift card is the perfect gift. Visit Dermaspa's physician-led team by Dr. Harlow Hollis at 1830 Oak Bay Avenue or at dermaspa.ca.
CFAX Victoria, a division of Bell Media. This is Victoria's News Authority, CFAX 1070.
Good afternoon. This is Victoria at noon for Wednesday, February the 11th for Thrifty Foods. I'm James Gardner.
And I'm Pamela McCall. Coming up, a verdict has been reached in the trial of the captain of the Costa Concordia.
You'll see some renewed activity in and around the Johnson Street Bridge tomorrow.
I'm Steve Duffy at the CFAX Sports Desk. The Canucks visit an arch rival tonight, the Blackhawks in Chicago. The Jets have traded Evander Kane. And the Shamrocks will have to wait until the fourth round to make their first pick in tonight's WLA draft.
All that to come on Victoria at noon, but first, just into the CFAX 1070 newsroom, the captain of the capsized Costa Concordia luxury liner has been convicted of multiple charges of manslaughter and sentenced to 16 years in jail. Francesco Schettino wasn't present when the judge read out the verdict. The verdict and sentencing brought a close to a trial that has been running since July 2013.
A strong but deep earthquake has struck northern Argentina. There are no reports immediately of damage. The U.S. Geological Survey says the magnitude 6.7 quake occurred about 750 kilometers southeast of La Paz, Bolivia. It was centered about 190 kilometers below the surface. We are not getting any word of damage or injuries at this time.
To local news now, the BC Coroner Service is calling for a review of the graduated licensing program after examining the deaths of 106 young drivers since 2004. A death review panel set up by the coroner found the majority of the victims were males who were 17 and 18 years old. Speed, impairment, lack of seatbelts, and inexperience were common factors in the deaths. The panel says the licensing program has helped reduce the death toll on the roads, but motor vehicle incidents remain the leading cause of death for young people between 15 and 18 years old.
This Friday is going to be a particularly important day in the Johnson Street Bridge construction project with the pouring of 1,100 cubic meters of concrete. City engineer Dwayne Kalinchuk says that's 120 truckloads, and those trucks will be coming to the site across the Bay Street Bridge and down to the harbor. He told us this morning it will mean some unusual traffic disruptions for users of both bridges.
We'll have a flag person at the location of Tyee and Bay Street, allowing the trucks to make a left-hand turn there. Normally there's no left-hand turns there, but there'll be a flag person to stop the traffic to allow the truck to make the turn. It's just that's the particular route we're using.
The Johnson Street Bridge will remain open throughout the day, but one of the westbound lanes will be closed.
The trial of a couple accused of plotting to bomb the BC Legislature Canada Day has seen video of the man explaining he converted to Islam because he wanted justice. John Nuttall and Amanda Carodi were arrested in July of 2013 and are now on trial for several terrorism-related offenses. In a video from early June 2013, Nuttall tells an undercover officer posing as an Arab businessman that he was inspired by what he viewed as the courage of the 9/11 hijackers. But Nuttall says every mosque he went to shunned him and his interest in violence.
Police and corrections officers are looking for a prisoner who escaped from William Head Institution yesterday. Assistant Warden Anthony Baldo says 44-year-old Michael Sheets escaped during an escorted temporary absence at about 1:10 p.m. He says Sheets is serving a sentence for manslaughter and arson and has served time for robbery, theft, and obstruction of a peace officer. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is being asked to call their local police department.
You're listening to Victoria at Noon on CFAX 1070. I'm James Gardner.
And I'm Pamela McCall. It's 12:04.
Following Friday's historic decision in the Supreme Court of Canada, another right-to-die case is heading for BC's Supreme Court. This case surrounds a BC woman with Alzheimer's. Margot Bentley is appealing a decision that allows her care home to spoon-feed her against her living will. Wanda Morris is with Dying with Dignity Canada.
Margot Bentley, when she was a competent individual, had been a dementia nurse. So she knew what was in her future, and she never wanted to end up as she has.
Today's court hearing comes on the heels of Friday's historic Supreme Court of Canada move to overturn the ban on doctor-assisted suicide.
Justin Trudeau says Tory defector Eve Adams has to convince a lot of local Liberals that she's the best person to carry the party banner in a Toronto riding during the coming election. The Liberal leader says part of the negotiations surrounding Adams' surprise defection Monday involved an agreement that she'd have to earn the right to run as a Grit in a difficult riding. Adams has confirmed this morning she intends to seek the Liberal nomination in Eglinton Lawrence, hoping to take on Finance Minister Joe Oliver in the election scheduled for October. Adams currently represents Mississauga-Brampton South and had initially wanted to run for the Conservatives in the newly created Oakville-North Burlington riding.
Scientists raising questions about the ethics of Alberta's wolf cull are calling it cruel and unnecessary. Conservation biologists have published a letter in a scientific journal about the program, which has killed hundreds of wolves in an attempt to help caribou numbers in west central Alberta. The letter says university and government scientists who used the cull to gather data on its results violated professional ethics. But a government biologist says there's no other way to keep wolf numbers low enough to help caribou other than by shooting the predators from helicopters or poisoning them.
Lawmakers in the U.S. Congress will send a bill approving the Keystone XL oil pipeline to the White House today, but probably to no avail. President Obama has said he would veto the proposal, citing the need for the bureaucratic review process to be completed. Speaker of the House John Boehner says the pipeline from Alberta to Texas has already passed every test. Today's vote caps weeks of debate.
Well, now that comedian Jon Stewart has announced his plans to step down as host of television's The Daily Show, speculation has already begun about his possible successor.
Who could it be?
Who could it be but media and public affairs expert Frank Sesno of George Washington University says Stewart might be irreplaceable.
Jon Stewart is a cultural icon. He may be the Mark Twain of our time in many ways. And what's really been remarkable is the degree to which he has connected with young people and drawn young people into the news who might not otherwise have gone there.
Possible new hosts include current and former Daily Show correspondents John Oliver, Samantha Bee, and Jason Jones.
NBC says Brian Williams jeopardized the trust he has built up with viewers during the decade he has been its nightly news anchor. So the network is suspending him for 6 months without pay for misleading people about some of his experiences while covering the Iraq War. Media expert Frank Sesno of George Washington says Williams' time at the network could be over.
People I talk to at NBC News who are familiar with the thinking say folks at the inner circle of the network don't expect him back. And they tell me that the troops are really demoralized and in some cases livid about this.
Lester Holt will sub for Williams during the suspension.
CFAX 1070 News Time coming up to 12:08. Victoria at noon continues in a moment with Steve Duffy on the sports desk. Astrid Brownschmidt has your weather forecast. And now, the CFAX 1070 Market Update brought to you by Georgian Capital.
That he was...
Target Canada has until the end of June to sell its store leases. An Ontario judge has given the green light to a compromise between Target and its landlords struck earlier this week. Target is in the middle of liquidating 133 stores across Canada. Be careful how you quit your job. That is, if you want another one. A survey of 600 HR managers says the way you quit affects future career opportunities. Employing a marching band or throwing a brick with a note attached were some of the more interesting findings. The TSX is holding on to an 11-point gain under pressure from resource stocks. The S&P 500 is down 5 points, and the Dow is losing 65. The loonie is down to 79.06 cents U.S. I'm Jeff Lagerquist, BNN Business News Network.
When news breaks, Victoria counts on CFAX 1070.
This is just coming into the newsroom. Police are reporting.
If it's happening, it's here. Victoria's News Authority, CFAX 1070.
Thrifty Foods is proud to offer exclusive, fresh, never frozen Alaskan red king crabs straight from the Bering Sea to their seafood departments within 48 hours.
Have you ever received a realtor's brochure in the mail for a free home evaluation? Is somebody charging for them? This is Kevin Ramsey, realtor with Fair Realty and SweetHomeVictoria.com. Of course the home evaluation is free and there's no obligation to sign anything. At our first meeting, we'll discuss your property's value and the preparation it needs, my flexible fees that include discounts for quick sales and double ends, plus my proven marketing system. I'm not going to send you a gimmick in the mail to make you call. Just go to sweethomevictoria.com and contact me for an appointment.
Budget of Victoria Car and Truck Rental knows you'll find similar rates no matter where you rent. But what you won't find is the same customer service experience.
Budget of Victoria, how can we help you?
I can't figure out this Bluetooth thing.
No problem. We'll walk you right through it.
I'm in Sydney and can't get to you.
We're on our way to pick you up in our courtesy van.
Hi, I might have dropped my keys off the Johnson Street Bridge.
Oh no, wait right there. We'll bring you a new set.
Experience the difference at Budget of Victoria. Google them, find them on Facebook and budgetvictoria.com.
This is Tom Williams, owner of Aerial Roofing. You may be thinking to yourself,
I sure hope my roof holds up this winter.
And you may be wondering,
did I wait too long to find out?
With Aerial Roofing, that's something you'll never have to worry about. Don't let the weather be a factor. We work all year round. We'll come look at your roof and let you know if it needs replacing. Sometimes you don't need a new roof. And if that's the case, we'll tell you. Aerial Roofing. We're honest about roofing.
For a free estimate, get in touch at aerialroofing.ca.
Today's CFAX 1070 news poll question, is $200 too much to pay for a concert ticket in Victoria? So far, 77% of you say yes, 22% no. What do you think? You can go to CFAX1070.com and click on news poll. I'm Pamela McCall.
And I'm James Gardner. If it's happening, it's here. Victoria's News Authority, CFAX 1070. It's coming up to 12 minutes past noon. And now with the weather, here is CTV, Vancouver Island's Astro.
Bringing it to you a la carte. It's Cafe Victoria with Bruce Williams on CFAX 1070.
It's 25 minutes to 1 o'clock. We've been talking about what concert would you go and see if ever. Frances Littman's in here for a green scene thing. You agreed with Corey and I, Led Zeppelin.
Absolutely. They're classic.
Or Madonna, you said as well.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Madonna, but like I was saying, I think Heart did an amazing job of bringing both classic Led Zeppelin and classic Heart when they were here last fall. It was amazing.
I guess the show that just killed it for everybody here was Prince, which I didn't see, but I heard all kinds of stories about how. Did you go? Were you at that, Corey?
Unreal.
Yeah,
you were there.
It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Why? What? I mean, I wish I'd been there. But why?
He's one of those guys. He's got it. He's got the charisma. I think how good a guitar player he is overlooked.
Oh,
he is unreal.
Yeah.
I also got to go to the after party at Sugar where he played.
Oh, you lucky guy!
Oh my gosh,
which
really?
Was pretty amazing.
Well, we'll see what else is going to happen here and who else is going to come around in town, because the folks at Save-On are bringing people through as well. I guess the other, which I've already seen Neil Young, but I'd see him again.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Billy Joel. I wouldn't mind seeing him again. That would be fun.
Go to New York and see him.
But because he's got that ongoing gig at Madison Square Garden.
Once a month he's playing shows.
Yeah. And who is it? Somebody just booked in Elton John just booked in long-term for Vegas.
Again, yeah.
So he's going to be there
That's
for
no surprise, really.
A month or something. Yeah, it's all about the glitter, don't you know? But we're not here to talk about that. We're here. Frances Littman joins us every couple of weeks on the program. We do something called the Green Scene. She, of course, is the person who organizes the Creatively United for the Planet event, which is coming up again in April.
It is April 25th and 26th at the English Inn.
So something else we want to talk about with you. You have put yourself forward to seek the nomination for the Green Party.
I have.
Dave Hodgins is the other candidate, and we've had him on CFAX before as well, but you've made a decision to go for that nomination.
I have, and this is for Esquimalt Saanich Sooke. The new electoral boundaries have been expanded, and I'm very excited about it, as you know.
That would be a step in a political direction for you. That's kind of a new thing, really.
Well, yes, but, with Creatively United, I'm already out there on the ground, running, trying to, green our city.
Yeah, exactly.
And expand people's minds about, green everything. It's just practical thinking. It's the intelligent movement, and the Green Party's already doing it.
Yeah. So it was, I guess, that motivated you to step forward to do things on the ground as you do, which you do a really good job at, and all the things that you advocate for and actions that you take. Politically, though, you're going to have a fair amount of bang and clout if you get this going on and if you get that nomination and win.
I can hardly wait. I really hope I'm given that opportunity. This Sunday's the vote, and the members will decide who they want to be their candidate. And I hope I'm the lucky one.
So it would be you or Dave running against Randall Garrison. Be there for the end. And I don't know any of the other nominees, and I should have looked that up before we. I don't know if the Conservatives or the Liberals have nominated anyone.
They have.
Have they?
Yes, I'm not 100% certain who the Liberals' final choice was. I do believe it could be Luke Cranehoff.
Okay.
And Sherry Lukens is running for the.
Oh, Sherry, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so that nomination meeting is Sunday.
It is indeed.
And then we'll know
who
it's going to be for the Greens.
Exactly.
Be you or Dave Hodgins.
Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Okay, well, we will keep that covered as well. We're going to talk about green stuff right now. So Valentine's Day is coming up. Valentine's, a lot of people say, well, every day should be Valentine's Day. But, there are people that do things in particular for their sweetie. It's always seemed a little bit excessive to me. Do you find that?
I think it's gotten a bit cheesy for, I think a lot of people would agree that it's become a Hallmark holiday instead of something maybe a little more meaningful. And I think if you're bringing it back to sort of a green focus, it does make it more meaningful. There's so many things that we can do, like, maybe this sounds a little cheesy, but I like the idea. Like maybe instead of giving flowers, you give flower seeds, and you can watch your love grow throughout the year.
Isn't Frances, I know, my gosh, look at you.
I know, I'm a romantic at heart. And, how about a potted plant instead of flowers? That's another way that you can, watch, watch something grow, and it's a living thing. It exactly is putting, some nice oxygen into the air, or maybe plant a special tree together. I mean, I think that's really meaningful. I recall David Suzuki, saying about the value of property and how the realtors were knocking on his door constantly in Vancouver saying, we could get you a lot of money for your house. And he's like, well, yeah, but how do you put a value on that tree I planted for, out of memory for my mother, or that gate that my father and I built together? So, there's so many other ways to express love than just always giving the proverbial gift.
The usual. There is, I think, in some cases, and it's the nature of your relationship, but there are people that have that expectation of the usual or the overt expression of love, which is fine, but you can green that. You can make it more local. You can do something that's like of an artisan nature. Break the mold. Try something different.
Local is definitely the way to go. I mean, you're supporting your local economy that way. And, also, like, how about even when jewelry, and maybe instead of some new jewelry, like there's so many ways that we can have antique jewelry or upcycle things, like pass on heirlooms and things that people find more meaningful.
Vintage stuff.
Vintage stuff, yeah.
Local flavors takes. There's even people in town here that make chocolate. They make their own. You don't have to get something that's shipped in from someplace else.
Oh, yes.
And it might even taste a little better.
Well, one would hope that, it's fair traded as well. And I always think things taste better knowing that the people who are, producing these products are being treated right.
I hear you.
So that's having love in your heart.
We talked about the flower stuff as well. Flower, even if they're cut flowers, a lot of them are grown here. And if you ask specifically, we had folks from Brown's the Florist on yesterday talking about roses, and the ones that they're grown here. The ones they have, so they're not hauling them in from Hell's Half Acre or someplace else, so there's not a huge carbon footprint in that.
That's wonderful to know. Yes, we do have some very good growers here. We're lucky to live on this island. We have so many amazing things, and that brings me back to the whole concept of food, too. I mean, there's a lot of foodies on this island. I'm one of them. I love shopping at the farmers market, so, one of the ways to have a green Valentine's is cook a special meal with maybe some local organic items, or maybe local wine, or using, local beeswax candles. There's local mead. There's so many ways to go with it. Or you can just enjoy the best drink of all, which is water.
And we'll come up to that in just a minute as well.
Yes.
I have to go back to what you said about let's, plant a seed and we'll watch it grow as our love grows together, or a plant is it. How great! You know what? Steal that line. Use that if you're thinking, what am I going to get for him or her? Or what am I going to get? The growing together thing. What a great! It's not cheesy. It's a great line. But what a good idea to plant a tree, plant a seed together.
Then we're really contributing to keeping our beautiful island green, and the Garden City after all.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
There's also the thing about the card. I don't buy a lot of cards, but when I do, I try and make a point of looking on the back to see if it's made from recycled material, and if it's at least made in Canada, if not locally produced by an artisan here.
Mm-hmm.
It's little things like that that add up, though.
They really do. And I've even seen those cards, and I'm sure other people have too, where they even have seeds implanted in the cards.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that neat? I think that's so clever. And then you can plant your card and watch it grow.
Watch it grow like the love that you wrote on the inside.
Exactly.
Which you may or may not have done with, earth-friendly ink. Can't you buy ink or something that's made out of beet juice or something like that?
Well, I haven't gone that far, but...
I've heard, I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
I haven't either, but I'm sure, when you look back at Indian printmaking techniques and all the natural products that they've used for that, and making art together, boy, is that fun. That is so much fun, whether you have an artistic bone in your body or not. And I think even today, like there's so many people into photography. Being a photographer myself, I see that all the time, that people are really growing to love photography. It's the fastest growing hobby in the world, really.
Really?
Yes, and what a great way for couples to spend some time, or even families. Like a Valentine's just doesn't have to be about, mom or dad. It can be in the whole family affair.
Yeah.
And maybe go out and photograph things like, you know what I love? I love looking for hearts as they naturally appear in nature.
Yeah.
And it is so much fun. I see hearts in clouds. I see hearts in trees. I see hearts everywhere. Like there's heart rocks. I know a lot of people collect heart rocks. So those are kind of fun ways you can spend a day together that doesn't cost you anything. And it's a whole lot of fun, rain or shine.
Yeah. Photography is a lot greener than it used to be, and you and I have chatted about that before.
Oh, yes.
But the digital age means that you're not... paper, chemicals, all that stuff. It's just the darkroom stuff. It doesn't happen hardly at all anymore.
That was the hardest thing for me when I started to really wake up to what we're doing to our environment, was being a photographer with darkroom chemicals. And in fact, it was the hardest. I had to I really embraced digital for that very reason, that we got to stop using all that abrasive chemistry.
And you can take the picture and then adjust it after. You don't have to take a gazillion pictures and develop them all. You can tweak. You can use technology, right?
And I think people need to be reminded, you don't need to print everything off either. There's so much storage now with the cloud and everything else out there that you just don't need to have a million pieces of paper and thousands of photos. There's so many interesting and innovative ways to show your images.
Exactly. Frances Littman with us on CFAX 1070. We're going to take a break here shortly and talk about an amazing love story that you photographed for some people, which we'll do shortly. But I saw something, I think I saw it on Twitter, but there's a family of, I think it's 5 sisters who gathered once a year, every year, for 40 years and had their picture taken together.
Oh.
And there was so I'm thinking now that, it doesn't matter how long you've been with your partner, take a picture now.
Yes.
Take a picture every year in the same place doing the same thing.
That's
or the
neat.
same pose or something. And that's how you watch your love grow together.
Well, I've been in this business as a professional photographer for 25 years, and I've actually been tempted to put a show together that takes the people that I photographed, these children when they were kids, and put them in the same situation I did back 25 years ago and show where they are now with their story. And that's still on my to-do list. I'd love to do that.
Well, if you're one of those people that was a kid when Frances took your picture, she wants to hear from you. FrancesLittman.com is the website for that.
Thank you, Bruce.
So we're going to come back and talk about this amazing love story that you watched unfold as you were taking pictures this week as well. We're going to talk about some other ways to celebrate a green Valentine's Day. Frances Littman from Creatively United for the Planet is with us. This is The Green Scene on CFAX 1070. We'll be right back with more.
Join the CFAX conversation on Facebook. It's Cafe Victoria with Bruce Williams on CFAX 1070. All season, CFAX 1070 is giving away trips to see the Canucks play live with the Lucky Canuck. Here's how.
Listen for the CFAX Lucky Canuck during each game. Then go to CFAX1070.com and enter that player's name. You could win tickets to an upcoming game, accommodations at the Rosedale on Robson, and fly round trip with Harbour Air Seaplanes. Plus, you have a chance to win a $50 gift card instantly from Glenwood Meats.
Win with the Lucky Canuck from Glenwood Meats, Harbour Air Seaplanes, and CFAX 1070.
When you're young, baths are fun. But when you get a bit older, a shower might be in your best interest instead. Island Marble is your bathroom specialist, and they're experts in tub-to-shower conversions. For under $5,000, they can turn your tub into an easy-access walk-in shower, including removal and preparation, sliding doors, corner seats, and more, which will keep you safe in the bathroom. Island Marble, endless possibilities. Learn more at islandmarble.ca.
How Bell makes TV on the go better. Carrie never misses an episode of The Big Bang Theory. It used to keep him home all the time, but ever since he got the Bell TV app, he can watch it on the go. Now, he never misses a doctor's appointment, or the bus, or his nephew's Little League game, or the pizza special at Ricardo's, or his girlfriend's.
Bring your Bell TV service with you and watch over 110 live and on-demand channels from wherever you are, only with the Bell TV app. Bell, TV on the go just got better.
Hey, it's your anniversary in a week, right?
Yep.
Getting the missus anything special?
Well, I don't know. I got time. I'll think of something.
7 days later.
Happy anniversary!
No way. Already?
Yes!
Some things are closer than you think, like the JBI Pub and Restaurant at the James Bay Inn. Try their 3-course dinner menu and experience great home-style cooking with fresh ingredients made from scratch. The JBI Pub and Restaurant at the James Bay Inn. Really good, really close. Corner of Government and Toronto.
You never know what the season will throw your way. Is your car ready for it? Make sure it is at Midas. They'll change the oil, rotate your tires, and complete a visual brake check, all for only $49.95. And for just $20 more, they'll even install your mounted winter tires. Midas offers the personal attention of a neighborhood garage with the protection and guarantees of a national chain. An oil change, tire rotation, and visual brake check for only $49.95. Offer valid on most vehicles. See store for details. Trust the Midas touch.
911, what's your emergency?
It's my husband. He's having a heart attack.
We are a male, 44 years old, possible myocardial infarction. It's going into arrest. Shocking again. Clear.
His heart is severely damaged.
Can you fix it?
We're hoping it can fix itself if we can get the cells to multiply.
The race to save lives starts with research. Your donations to Heart and Stroke help fund the best medical minds in the world.
A trip down memory lane. Boomertown with Barry Bowman. Sundays at 3 on CFAX 1070.
We are back on Cafe Victoria at CFAX 1070. It's 10 minutes to 1 o'clock. I'm Bruce Williams. Ian Jessup coming up after 1 o'clock today. This whole Brian Williams thing, the news guy he's been suspended without pay and they don't think he's ever going to come back because he lied about what his experiences were in a war. Ian's going to investigate that and talk more about it coming up after 1 o'clock today. In the meantime, Frances Littman is with us. This is our Green Scene feature we do every second Wednesday. She is the creator and organizer of the Creatively United for the Planet project, as well as a professional photographer. You were with the TC for a long time.
I was.
So tell me the story. You're out taking pictures this week with these people. They're from the States. You're from
Yes, I got a phone call. It was just delightful from this nervous-sounding young man who had was up here from Los Angeles, of all things, and he wanted to propose to his girlfriend. And he was trying to come up with all kinds of ways to do that outdoors because they absolutely love Vancouver Island for the very sake of what we have to offer here. So he was, here it was raining the day he called me and it was windy and he's got these plans to bring candles and have rose petals and create this proposal and have the Parliament buildings as a backdrop at night, and it was all just it was very exciting what he had planned, but I didn't know how feasible it would really be.
He didn't look at the weather online before he got here is probably what happened. Right?
No, but as it turned out, it all came together, and it stretched into quite a late evening event because they started with dinner in the Empress dining room, and nice. And he seemed to think they'd be done, at a certain time, and I was like, I don't think so.
But they went to the legislature, and you're on the lawn. Is that where the stuff all happened?
Actually, no, we used, and I'll apologize to the city already if they found wax all over the place. But I mean, this was his decision. He must have brought 100 candles, and he had me lighting these candles while he went back to the Empress to get her from the dining room, and he'd spread rose petals. I think he got them from Brown's, actually. Okay. He had just bags of rose petals, which he brought down the sidewalk. I was up by the Visitor Information Center because it's a beautiful view to the Parliament buildings, and brought the rose petals all the way down the sidewalk. And we had a giant shaped heart in the with all these candles, which I kept trying to relight while they were going out before they got there. And she was totally flabbergasted. She had no idea. So it was very beautiful.
Cool. And did she say yes?
She did, thank goodness.
Are they going to come back here for their honeymoon?
Well, I think they'd even like to have their wedding here, but I guess it'll remain to be seen.
Well, I think Tourism Victoria would be in favor of that.
Absolutely.
We're talking about greening your Valentine's Day today, and tourism does actually have this spot now where they've set up kissing spots all around because we're one of the most romantic cities in Canada.
I think that's terrific, don't you?
Yeah, because you could go out there and take a little walk on Valentine's Day, it being Saturday, and go to the kissing spots, which brings us to the green thing that you don't have to do the cheesy buy a lot of dough.
Yes.
Taking a walk is a green thing to do with your sweetie.
And with all our wonderful CRD parks, I mean, what a great thing to go out for a nice hike. I can't think of a better place to kiss than in some of our natural settings in our parks. They're just so exquisite.
And the weather is actually, I'm just looking again here. Yeah, Saturday, mostly sunny, sun and cloud, and 12 degrees.
Huh. Well, there you go.
Sunday will be partly sunny and 10 degrees.
Fantastic.
So
it's balmy.
Another one of the bonus things here is that if you're going to spend the day with your sweetie, this year Valentine's is a Saturday.
Yes.
And there's you're talking about markets. There's a small version, I think, of the Moss Street Market.
There is. It's very small, but it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. You have to get there early because they get cleaned out pretty fast. I know for a fact because I love to go there every Saturday.
Well, there's also the Victoria Public Market downtown where you can buy local stuff.
And that's a fun place. Yeah, that's a pretty good kissing spot too, I would think.
There's no bad kissing spots, let's face it.
That's true.
So when we're going to do these purchase things that we want to do, people often will buy perfume or personal care products and stuff. Buy local, buy something that's made around here.
Well, yes, and I think essential oils are actually a really nice way to go because versus synthetic perfumes that who knows where the ingredients are coming from. And as we know, you go to a lot of public buildings now and there's warnings that you can't be scented. However, when it comes to, the essential oils, it's a really great thing. And there's a lot of places selling them now.
Yeah. You just got to ask around and look around.
That's right. And Johnson Street, what a great area too, Market Square.
You can also eat things that are locally grown and very healthy for you that have first of all, they're heart smart and heart healthy. But what about, finding romaine lettuce and cooking romaine heart?
Oh, absolutely. Well, and aren't we lucky? We have we have the ingredients market, we have lifestyles markets, we have all these wonderful, like the James Bay has their own little market. There's just so many wonderful little stores cropping up now. We even talked about the general store on one edition where you can go.
That's the one on Haltane.
Yes, on Haltane, where you can go and get lots of locally sourced and produced, not only food, but these wonderful gifts.
So listen, to take a look at it in the big picture, keeping your Valentine's green not only shows love for your sweetie, but it shows love for your planet.
Yes, absolutely. And that's essential. I mean, after all, we rely on this planet for our food, our air, our water, and it's kind of the essentials, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. The other thing, too, is if you've not been living a lifestyle that was particularly green, or if you and your partner, sweetie, whatever, have never shared that, this is kind of a new undertaking that you can do together.
And it's not hard. It's so affordable. That's what the beautiful thing is.
And it's not hard to figure out when you give it some thought.
No, absolutely.
Just want to mention again, too, about the Creatively United for the Planet event that's coming up in April, because it's almost like midway through February, so it's coming up pretty soon. So what's going to happen this year at that event?
Oh, it's so exciting. April 25th and 26th. This year is the 4th annual. Can you believe it? 4 years since it started this Creatively United for the Planet Earth Week Festival. And what it is coming together of not-for-profits, of eco-type businesses, innovative thinking, ideas, art, musicians, poets, you name it. Even Robert Bateman will be part of it again this year with an art show. We have
new venue.
Yes, a new venue at the English Inn. Yes, 429 Lamson Street. It's a beautiful 5-acre property, and it's filled with trees and gardens and paths, and it's really like the big secret garden that won't be a secret after this event.
Not so much after you do all that. It's creativelyunited.org. No, Creatively United for the Planet.
No, it's creativelyunited.org. You had it right. Very good. You can find
Frances Littman. And again, a reminder that the Green Party will be doing their nominating meeting. So you and Dave Hodgins are the two candidates for the Green nomination in the new riding that's been created.
Exactly. So I ask if there's anyone in Esquimalt, Saanich, or Souk that is able to vote, please come out on Sunday. The doors open at 1 o'clock at the Royal Colwood Golf Course, and the official meeting will start at 2. Elizabeth May will be there. It is going to be fascinating.
As are you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Nice to see you again.
And you.
The photography is at francislittman.com.
Oh, I appreciate that.
When are the pictures of the LA people going to be out? Or will they be?
Oh, I think with their permission, maybe in a couple of weeks.
Very cool.
Yes.
Great story. Francis Littman, thanks for coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Ian Jessup is in...
He's a bit of a sweet talker, isn't he, Francis?
Oh, big time.
Not just on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but he walks his talk. That's what I like. He loves his community. I love Bruce for that reason.
Well, it's a great place to live, and all we can do to make it better is what we all should be doing. Speaking of making things better, what can ever make it better for Brian Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a bad thing. He's done a bad thing.
He lied.
Yes. On television.
Do you know he was reportedly making $13 million a year?
Ugh. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's kind of scandalous, isn't it?
Holy cow. Of course, that's based on the revenue the program makes, and then they attribute that back to the anchor, and there's some business formula they apply to that. All I know is
I'm Walter Cronkite.
That's the way it is. I know that I'm on television, and I've never made $13 million in a year.
Yet.
Probably never will. I just worry about it's stuff like him and Giangameshi and the allegations that surround all of these kind of guys that sort of undermine the credibility of the industry, and that's what worries me.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Andrew Mitrovica. He's a journalism instructor and award-winning investigative reporter about that. Also, I'm going to open the lines at 1:30 and ask, I want to know...